Hi there. My name is Mark Willett, and I'm the director of the International Center for Academic and Professional English here at Lehigh University. In this lecture, I'd like to introduce you to some key concepts and principles when it comes to multilingual speakers of English on university campuses. Particularly, I'd like to help you understand and appreciate their needs and interests while living and studying at Lehigh University. In addition, I'd like to offer you some useful suggestions, not only to support their academic and cultural success on campus, but also, and more to the point of this lecture, I'd like to help you make use of the rich linguistic and cultural resources that these students bring to your classroom. That's a difficult question to answer because these students represent a diverse group of English users who may or may not immediately be recognizable as native or non-native English speakers. Further, if we consider the social, cultural, and political realities of English as a world language in terms of how has it developed historically, including some of its more recent developments in language use, we can see how an understanding of the word multilingual becomes increasingly complex as it relates to university campuses. For instance, in recognizing this complexity, Cochrane offered a conceptual framework for outlining different varieties of English users and their speakers worldwide. Cochrane explains that the inner circle refers to predominantly monolingual contexts in which English originally took shape as the primary official language of given national institutions, that is, such as in government, education, religious institutions, etc., as well as use within local communities as the dominant means of communication in the native language. In these contexts, English serves as a standard prestige variety for all language users. And the total number of English users in the inner circle has been estimated as high as 380 million speakers, of whom some 120 million are outside of the United States. The outer circle refers to contexts in which the language was produced by the spread of the language through UK and US colonial expansion. In these regions, English is not necessarily the native tongue, but serves as a medium of communication between different groups of speakers of various other local or indigenous languages, such as the case in India, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Malaysia, Belize, Kenya, etc. Here, English is also used in official institutional contexts as one of many official national languages often. The total number of English speakers in the outer circle has been estimated to range from 150 million to 300 million. The expanding circle includes countries where English plays no historical or governmental role as an official language, but where it nevertheless is widely used as a significant medium of international communication as a second or third language, and is emphasized often in early education in these contexts. This includes much of the rest of the world's population, not categorized, other than what I've categorized before, including territories like China, Russia, Japan, non-Anglophone Europe, especially the Netherlands, for example, and the Nordic countries, South Korea, Indonesia, etc. So, in considering such diversity in numbers across Cochrane's circles of world English users, sociolinguists as well as university educators have begun to realize that, realistically, their students, regardless of what cultural and linguistic backgrounds they come from, they will need to communicate effectively with speakers of different varieties of English in the workplace, in the educational sector, in private business, for example, more often than with speakers of their own English variety. And for our purposes of understanding the various multilingual students on college campuses, Cockeroo's conceptual framework raises some key additional questions that we might consider. Who owns English, for example? Who is a native speaker? Who is a non-native speaker? How do we identify them? How do we characterize their needs and address them effectively in order to ensure their academic, social, and cultural success on university campuses in the United States? And by what standards of English correctness should we hold these students accountable in their academic work? What constitutes an English error in grammar or in spelling or in pronunciation, for that matter? All really important questions to consider and critically think about.